trick or treat? Well, today it's all treat. We're going to try and turn this pumpkin into our very own Kamado to cook a Halloween steak. Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, and this is a little bit off the beaten path. We're gonna have a little bit of fun today for Halloween. I was thinking about how can we bring together some of the things that we love. Halloween has our neighborhood, our community coming together, going door to door. I've got my passion for grilling and smoking, and I wanted to see if we could combine these two elements and have a little fun and make a mini pumpkin kamado that we could maybe use for grilling or smoking some treats out front with the neighborhood. So today is a test run to see if we can turn a pumpkin into our very own kamado for a little bit of extra Halloween fun. Let's get started. So the game plan is to start getting our pumpkin ready first, and so I'm going to hollow this out a little bit different than normal. All the times as a kid we start by cutting a large hole up top. We're going to cut this near the top, try and create a bit of a dome area and a base area and see if we've got enough space to work with. So let me bring the camera nice and close and we'll get to work on breaking open our pumpkin, start to hollow it out and get to work on creating vents that we can use up top and down below to regulate our airflow and see if this is going to work or not. So bring it nice and close. We'll start prepping our pumpkin. All right, this is our pumpkin that we're working with today. This is the closest I could find at our local farmer's market. I was hoping for a little bit more of a PumpkinJoe Jr. shape and size, as I was originally thinking I could use some of the internals, but this is the biggest or the most uniform shape that I could find. So rather than just splitting this in half, it's not going to leave us room for charcoal and much dome. I'm going to go cutting a little bit closer to the top and hope that we just have enough surface area to be able to have a little bit of a dome and give us a little bit more space underneath. I'll take it fast forward while we get to cleaning up our pumpkin. So our pumpkin is cleaned out and looks pretty good. So I want to now test fit. I want to try and find a way of just not having the charcoal sit right on the bottom, as I think that'll burn through almost immediately. So I'm hoping that my charcoal basket will fit in here. So let's test fit. Okay, so small problem with that plan. As you can see, our charcoal basket is a round shape and our pumpkin, well, I tried to find the closest I can, it's a little bit flat in the back. And so while we can get this to fit down in here and push it out, no problem, when I stretch that out, our dome won't line up with the base of the Kamado. There's going to be big air gaps. So I think a new game plan. So what I want to do is just get something for the charcoal grate to sit on. So I grabbed 2 recycling cans, dropped those right on the bottom like so. And what I am able to do then is get my stock PumpkinJoe Jr. charcoal grate, and those 2 cans will hold that up so that I have an air gap and we'll be able to create a little bit of an air opening to draw some fresh air in on the bottom and still have our charcoal off of the bottom of the pumpkin, which is what I wanted, so it didn't burn right through. But now we need to get our air door. So let's get something right here in front. Just where I can see sort of the top and the bottom, I'm going to poke through with my knife so I have a general idea. There we go. And so what I'm going to do now is just cut out a little bit of a cube so that we have a bottom draft air door. All right, so we've got 3 little openings to draw some air, and so we can get a little bit, hopefully, some temperature control. Idea is just to put that back in, give a toothpick, just like so. And now if we need to adjust the air vents, we've got a little bit of temperature control. I'll just find my second piece here, slide that in, we get working on our top. Little air vents. So now we've got our base of our Kamado pumpkin looking pretty good. I want to get to work on the top, and if I can pull it off, I'm hoping to be able to make a little mark. I can slide my temperature probe from my Joe Jr. in, as well as maybe use the daisy wheel. So I'm just going to measure out or draw a line around this and then cut inside that so I can try and use pressure to sort of force fit it in, so hopefully it'll hold. Otherwise, we'll come up with a new plan. Bring it nice and close, and we'll start cutting out our top vent. Okay, that looks good. We've got our dome that'll stay, I think, in place as well as we need it to for a single cook. So let's just mark out a little bit of a spot for our temp probe. Try right about here. Just using a nail to help
start our hole so our probe doesn't have to do all the work. Let's try that.
So I'm sure at this point there is somebody who spends every waking minute figuring out manufacturing tolerances to get things like our control tower top or our daisy wheel today to fit just perfectly, that are throwing up it a little bit in their mouth at our hack job Kamado here. But I don't know about you, I'm having a lot of fun. They're just off camera. Kids are having a good time today. So we're gonna power through and get ready to fire up our pumpkin Kamado. Now this is the part that I think warrants a little extra precaution. And so the main concern here is that that charcoal fire gets going a little bit too well, cooks the bottom of our Kamado, and just falls through. And I don't want hot coals landing on me or the table or anything like that. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna open up the dome of the Big Joe, set up a grid, and we're gonna place this on here just in case things go wrong and that fire falls. It's falling into a spot that is safe and made for that to contain all that heat. So let me reposition you and we'll get ready to build our fire, and then I'll grab our steak and we'll start getting that ready to season it up and see if we can actually cook a steak in a pumpkin Kamado. Okay, I think we are ready to start a fire in our pumpkin Kamado. Let me bring you nice and close, show you how we're gonna fire that up, as well as drop in that cooking grid. I have a smaller one from my smokeware grid extender accessory that's also made for the Joe Jr. And if you haven't seen that video, the punchline here is what it allows you to do is add a second level to your Joe Jr. Now you can't quite fit the original heat deflector plus gain that height, but what I love to do is just drop that on the main level, use a cast iron pan, maybe cook some veggies and things like that, and then I'm able to use some extra cooking capacity above it. It adds a ton of utility for our family of 4. If that's the size of the grill that you have, you can get that much more space out of it. But the point is, it comes with a smaller grid, and the size of our pumpkin that I was able to find, it's too small to fit the stock Kamado Joe 13-inch grid, but I think this smaller diameter cooking grid is going to be about perfect. If you don't have that, maybe just go to a different spot that has larger pumpkins if you look to do this for your trick-or-treat celebrations. Anyways, nice and close, let's get our fire going in our Pumpkin Joe, if that's a thing. I made it a thing. It's a thing. Pumpkin Joe. All right, so we've got our Pumpkin Joe ready to go. You can see, hopefully, down inside here, we've got our original cast iron charcoal grate with the cans underneath it to give it an air gap. So we're able to draw some air with our adjustable vents down here. So I'll take you fast forward. The game plan is I'm just gonna load up some charcoal on this. Actually, let's see while I have you here at the speed if our cooking grid will fit. I think it's just gonna protrude a little bit from the pumpkin, but that's fine. That'll sit right on here. So I'll take you fast forward while we set this up. Okay, I think we are ready to fire. So I'm just gonna remove my adjustable dampers, grab my grill gun. Now I am going to use the smaller sous vide gun today. This puts out, I think from memory, around 240 something thousand BTU, as it has this diffuser plate. So I picked this up for searing, and that's exactly how we're going to finish this steak today, and a little bit more gentle control than the 400 plus thousand BTU that I get from the proper grill gun. So I think in a pumpkin, this less aggressive heat is going to do the trick just fine. If I haven't mentioned, I think I have before, but on either model, I now, Grill Blazer has offered me a 10% savings code, so I'll put the details down below if you want to check that out. But enough of that, let's get a fire going. Okay, our coals are going. We've got some nice ashed over. Let me grab my Pumpkin Joe top here. Drop this on. Leave the bottom vent, top vent all the way open and let this build some heat. All right, well, Pumpkin Joe is, see how quickly that just became a thing? I told you it's a thing, so we're just gonna stick with it. So while Pumpkin Joe is coming up to temperature, let's get some seasoning on our steak. Now, I normally love to salt brine my steaks ahead of time, but as you can tell, this is sitting in the grocery store butchering wrapping paper. I didn't wake up this morning thinking about turning a pumpkin into a Kamado, so this was not planned ahead. So if you don't have the time to plan ahead and maybe even let this come up to room temperature where we can salt brine it, the next best thing is to season it immediately before it goes on the grill, or in this case, pumpkin. So bring it nice and close. We'll get some seasoning on our ribeye.
Okay, so we've got a really nice little ribeye. My local grocery store had this. Marbling looked good. It was on sale. So I'm just going to hit this with some pre-made rub. This is actually Lane's Sweet Heat and Garlic. It's very similar to the one that I made. It's just this has some salt in it. I don't want to combine dry brining and salt, so I'm just going to go for the pre-made stuff today. Looks good. So while we're just waiting a little longer for our pumpkin to come up to temperature, also just going to take a meter and slide this in right in the middle. And I'm going to go right to that line that it says to insert past so we can track this cook. Perfect. Let's go check on the grill.
All right, our PumpkinJoe is just up and holding over about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and none of my normal tricks about checking the dome to see if it's warm are working. I think that's a good thing, because if the outside of our pumpkin was hot to the touch, it'd be about to fall apart. So I see 300 degrees, nice and stable. I did have to insert our little bottom pieces back in here to stop those temperatures from running away. And I've got our daisy wheel in the max open and close position. If you should choose to follow this at home, but I will say your pumpkin will likely vary. So let me bring it nice and close. We'll throw on our grid, get our steak, set up our meter to track so we can follow along. And I'm gonna set that to about an internal doneness of 120 degrees Fahrenheit before we'll take that off, let it rest, and get ready to sear it.
Okay, let's remove our PumpkinJoe top and get our cooking grid. So I'm just going to drop this right about there so it's above the coals. And let me know, by the way, if you want, I've just done a deep clean. If you're noticing the nice white on my Big Joe behind me, I've done a deep clean on the base, but never pointed out the dome, how to get rid of the black. If you'd like to see more on that, let me know in the comments down below. But for today, let's grab our ribeye. Perfect. Get that nice and centered above the flames. Drop on our dome, which in version 1 here, I haven't found a nice handle system or a way of making that a little bit easier. If you've got some ideas for version 2.0, let me know down below and I'm happy to improve it. But so far, this is looking good. So let's let those temperatures recover and track along with our meter app. I'm going to set for 120 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, our ribeye has just hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and I bet it's looking gorgeous. Sorry, can't help it. Dad jokes. Let's get it off though. Actually, sorry, let's get the dome off and get ready to sear. So I'm going to, as I mentioned earlier, use my Grill Blazer Grill Gun SV gun edition, as that is going to be much easier to regulate for the sear. You can do it with the big one. It's absolutely food safe, but at 400,000 BTU, it's a little bit crazy to try and control. So let me bring it nice and close. We'll get a sear on our ribeye and get it off, and then we'll let it rest. Okay, so we held just about 300 degrees the whole time, no problem. What? That looks really good. Smells really good. That's crazy. So I'm just gonna pull out our probe here, since we don't need that anymore. Grab our sous vide gun, and let's get to searing. All right, let's get this off, let it rest. You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but if I was to judge this book by its cover, I'd have no way of telling this was cooked on a pumpkin. It looks and smells great. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get anything unpleasant when we dig into it and do our taste test in just a minute here, but right now, this looks promising. So let me bring you nice and close. We'll slice it up. I've got a little bit of Malderin smoked sea salt just to help pop that up a little bit. So let's come nice and close. We'll get a few slices and dig in. All right, slice into it. So that is cooked nice and evenly, medium rare. That will bloom out once the air hits it. So far, so good. Let's get a few slices. Salt Bay. All right, moment of truth. Let's dig in. Got my piece here. Get some of that au jus. Zero way to tell that's cooked on a pumpkin. Zero. Absolutely. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. It worked. So recap time. So if you find yourself looking to want to surprise your guests with a pumpkin, now that I think about it, I maybe for the Halloween version, I might save the seeds and smoke the seeds in the pumpkin itself. It's like
morbid form of pumpkin cannibalism, but make a great treat for a trick or treat. It was a lot of fun. Family had fun, I had fun, and I have a dinner that's absolutely delicious. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this steak. It's actually really good. So we're going to take this in, enjoy it. And speaking of enjoying things, I hope you enjoyed today's video, because if you did, please let YouTube know and smash that thumbs up button. It really helps others find the video, and let me know by hitting subscribe to catch future videos. Speaking of crazy ideas like today, I also have a section for my members that get to inform content, and I go live with them monthly, one-on-one, to be able to answer questions in a bit more of an intimate way. So thanks for everyone who's already signed up. And if you're curious on the fence, I'll put the details down in the description. You can check that out. But that's it for today. I hope you have a great, safe, and fun Halloween, and maybe consider making your own PumpkinJoe Kamado out of your pumpkin. It's a lot of fun. So that's it for today. I'm James from Smoking Dad Barbecue signing off. And remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.